Ever wondered why some gay people sound different? Is it a stereotype, or is there some truth to it? Today, we're diving into the intriguing intersection of sexuality and speech, a fascinating realm where sound meets identity. Now let's start with a simple fact. We all have unique voices. Just like fingerprints, no two voices are identical. Each voice is a complex cocktail of tone, pitch, resonance, and articulation, shaped by factors like biology, geography, and personal experiences. It's this diversity that adds color to our conversations and makes our interactions vibrant and engaging. But here's where it gets even more interesting. Your voice is not just a means of communication, it's a part of who you are. It's an auditory signature that can reveal clues about your personality, your emotions, and yes, even your sexuality. And that's where the concept of the gay voice comes in. The gay voice, as it's sometimes called, is a term that refers to certain speech patterns or characteristics that are often associated with gay men. It's a controversial term, to say the least, and it's worth noting that not all gay men speak this way, just as not all people who speak this way are gay, but it does raise an interesting question. Can your voice reflect your sexual orientation? You see, our voices are not just biological, they're also social. They're shaped by the communities we belong to, the people we interact with, and the identities we choose to express. They're a part of how we present ourselves to the world. And for some people, that might include aspects of their sexuality. So, when we talk about the gay voice, we're not just talking about pitch or resonance, we're talking about identity, we're talking about a form of self-expression that can be as diverse and complex as the individuals who use it. So, the question remains, is there a gay voice, and if so, why? Stereotypes often distort reality, so what's the real story behind the gay voice? Let's unravel this. When we talk about the gay voice, what comes to mind? A high-pitched, effeminate tone, or perhaps a distinctive lisp? These are common stereotypes, and they're often reinforced by media portrayals. However, they don't tell the full story. It's essential to understand that stereotypes are oversimplifications. They reduce complex realities to simple, often inaccurate narratives. Let's delve into this. The gay voice, as it's commonly known, is not a one-size-fits-all phenomenon. Research shows that there are as many speech patterns within the LGBTQ+ community as there are within the broader population. A study from the University of California, Los Angeles found that speech patterns among gay men varied significantly. They ranged from the very masculine to the very feminine and everything in between. But why is there such a stereotype? Part of it may be confirmation bias. That's when we notice things that confirm our preconceived notions and ignore those that don't. So if someone speaks in a way that fits the gay voice stereotype, we might label them as gay, even if that's not the case. On the other hand, if someone doesn't fit the stereotype, we might not even consider their sexual orientation. Also, it's worth mentioning that speech patterns are influenced by a myriad of factors. These include geographic location, social circles, and personal identity. So it's not surprising that there's such diversity within any community, including the LGBTQ+ community. It's also crucial to remember that speech is just one aspect of a person's identity. It doesn't define them. Just like you can't tell a book by its cover, you can't know someone's sexual orientation based on their voice alone. In conclusion, let's challenge ourselves to look beyond stereotypes and appreciate the diversity and complexity of people's identities. Stereotypes can be limiting and misleading. They can prevent us from seeing the full picture. Therefore, not all gay people sound the same, just like not all straight people sound the same. Let's venture into the fascinating world of linguistics and speech science. Speech, in its essence, is a complex interplay of physiology and acoustics. Our vocal cords, tongue, lips, and even our nasal cavities all play a role in shaping the sounds we produce. This is why each person's voice is as unique as their fingerprint. But what about the way we talk? Why do accents and speech patterns differ so widely? Well, this is where things get interesting. You see, as infants, we're all born with the ability to make any sound in any language. However, as we grow, we begin to imitate the sounds we hear around us, and gradually we lose the ability to produce those sounds that we don't hear or use. This process, known as phonetic narrowing, is why a child born to English-speaking parents in the heart of Texas will speak differently from a child of the same age in the bustling streets of Tokyo. Now let's add another layer to this: our social environment. As social beings, we are constantly influenced by the people around us. We subtly adjust our speech to fit in with our peer group or to differentiate ourselves from others. This phenomenon, known as speech accommodation can lead to the development of distinct speech patterns and accents within specific communities. But it's not just about fitting in. Our speech can also be a form of self-expression, a way of asserting our identity. Just as we choose our clothes or hairstyle to reflect who we are, we can also consciously or unconsciously modify our speech to align with our identity. So, when we talk about the so-called gay accent, we're really talking about a complex interplay of biology, environment, and identity. It's not a simple case of this is how gay people talk. It's about individuals expressing their identity, their belonging to a community, and their unique personal history through their speech. So, our voices are shaped by numerous factors, from our upbringing to our surroundings. Could the gay voice be more of a social construct than a biological one? This is a question that might sound puzzling at first, but when you delve into the research, it begins to make a lot of sense. Some experts suggest that certain speech patterns associated with the gay voice may not be biologically predetermined, but rather adopted as a way of signaling identity to others. Yes, you heard it right. It's about communication, about signifying who you are in a world that often tries to put you in a box. Consider this. The way we speak is a complex mixture of influences from our surroundings, our peers, our role models, and the media we consume. For instance, you may have picked up a particular turn of phrase from your favorite movie or the accent of a beloved teacher. In a similar vein, some gay people might adopt certain speech patterns that they identify with, consciously or subconsciously. Now let's talk about the role of media and society in all this. Media, in particular, has a powerful influence on how we perceive various social groups, including the LGBTQ+ community. The gay voice that many of us are familiar with is often based on portrayals in movies, TV shows, and other forms of media. These representations, while not always accurate, can shape our perception of what it means to sound gay. But here's the catch. These media stereotypes can also influence the way some gay people perceive themselves and how they choose to express their identity. It's a two-way street. Society, with its norms and expectations, also plays a significant role. The gay voice can serve as a form of resistance, a way of challenging societal norms about how men should sound. It's a declaration of identity, a refusal to conform to the gendered expectations of speech. So the gay voice might be less about biology and more about identity and societal expectations. It's about expressing who you are and refusing to be silenced. It's about being proud of your unique voice in a world that often seeks to mute difference. So, what does this all mean for our understanding of voice identity and sexuality? Across the past several minutes, we've journeyed through the intriguing landscapes of voice and identity. We've explored the stereotypes that often color our perceptions and the realities that challenge these assumptions. We've delved into the science of speech, seeking to comprehend how and why our voices sound the way they do. And we've pondered whether our voices are merely social constructs or something deeper, something intrinsically tied to who we are as individuals. To sum it up, it's clear that our voices, much like our identities, are not one-size-fits-all. They are as diverse as the people they come from, shaped by a myriad of factors both within and beyond our control. And while it's human nature to seek patterns, to categorize and simplify, the truth is, our voices are far too complex to be neatly boxed into stereotypes. From the lilt of laughter to the rumble of anger, from whispers of love to shouts of protest, our voices are the harbingers of our emotions, our thoughts, and our identities. They are the auditory fingerprints that make us unique, the verbal signatures that announce our presence in the world. Beyond the realm of sexuality, this understanding underscores the importance of respecting the diversity of human voices and identities. It's not just about tolerating differences, but about celebrating them, about acknowledging that every voice, every identity, has its place in the symphony of human existence. So, as we navigate this ever-evolving world, let's remember, there's no right or wrong way to sound, no normal or abnormal voice. Each voice is a testament to the individual's unique journey, their personal narrative, their distinct identity. Remember, our voices, like our identities, are complex and multifaceted. So let's celebrate the diversity of voices rather than boxing them into stereotypes. Because after all, it's the multitude of voices that makes our world such a beautifully cacophonous place.